After losing my hearing for half my life, it suddenly came back while I was cooking dinner. I was about to share this amazing news when I overheard my daughter and son-in-law in the living room. "When is your mother finally leaving?" Daniel complained. "Tomorrow is my mother's birthday, and honestly, she can't stand the smell of country people. Your mom just reeks of that farm life." I know, Luna sighed. "She is becoming such a burden. First, she is deaf. Now her hands are getting shaky too. I need to find an excuse to ship her back to Oklahoma soon." The shock made me drop the bowl I was holding. It crashed to the floor in pieces. My daughter rushed in, her hands moving in sign language asking if I was hurt, but her mouth said something completely different. Great, now the old thing can't even hold a bowl properly. Her hands and feet are totally useless now. I really need to get rid of her and send her back to the countryside. They had no idea I could hear every cruel word, so I decided to give them exactly what they wanted, but not the way they expected. I can't stop wondering how something like this could unfold for any of us. Anywhere in the world, I am genuinely curious. Where are you watching from? Share your thoughts in the comments. Our community's insights mean everything to me. If you are craving more stories that provoke reflection, do subscribe. Now, back to what happened next in my story. In the kitchen while preparing dinner, my ears, which had been deaf for half my life in an accident, while protecting my daughter decades ago, suddenly began to hear sounds again. Before I could share this miraculous news with my family, I heard my son-in-law Daniel's voice drifting clearly from the living room. "When is your mother leaving?" "Tomorrow is my mother's birthday, and she really doesn't want country people around. They're just so rough around the edges." My hands shook, and the bowl slipped from my grasp, crashing to the floor. The hot soup I had just finished cooking splashed across my feet, sending burning pain through my skin. Hearing the noise, my daughter Luna hurried over, using sign language to ask if I was okay, then knelt down to help me clean up the broken pieces. For a moment, my heart warmed, thinking that at least my daughter still cared for me. Worried that she might cut herself on the sharp pieces, I quickly told her to stand up, but before I could feel any relief, I heard her speak with clear disgust in her voice. "It is bad enough that my mother is deaf, but now her hands and feet are getting clumsy too. When she gets even older, she'll just be dead weight. I need to find some excuse to send her back to Oklahoma. Joshua is old enough now that he doesn't need her watching him anymore." Daniel spoke up from his spot on the couch. "I definitely don't want to take care of your mother, but we should get her to sell that house back home first so we can buy a new car. This old piece of junk is embarrassing when I pick up my mother." I stood frozen as tears started flowing from my tired eyes. I never thought that after 7 years of working non-stop for this family, doing everything without a single complaint, this would be my reward. They had taken everything I had to give, and now they were planning to throw me away like trash. A bitter laugh escaped my lips silently. Fine, I could leave, but not before giving them a special goodbye gift. I dropped my cooking spoon and turned toward the bedroom, each step reminding me of the burn on my feet. Luna grabbed my arm, signing frantically to ask where I was going when dinner wasn't even finished. The situation made me want to laugh out loud as I spoke. "Can't you see that your mother has been burned? I am obviously going to treat my injury." Luna looked toward Daniel, then signed back to me. "Mom, it is just a little burn. You can run some cold water over it later. Remember when you cut your hand with that knife? You didn't make a sound, just finished cooking dinner before going to the hospital. Why are you being so dramatic now?" 7-year-old Joshua came running over, tugging at my sleeve. "Grandma, I am hungry. When will dinner be ready?" I had raised this boy with my own hands, so naturally we shared a bond. As he stood there asking for food with such innocent trust, part of me actually wanted to stay and finish cooking his meal first. But before I could respond, Luna knelt down and ruffled his hair. "Joshua, didn't I tell you that Grandma is deaf? You need to use sign language when you talk to her." "Mommy, can you pick me up from school instead? Grandma is deaf and she smells like the country. Lots of my friends make fun of me and say country people are stinky." Joshua looked at me with such obvious distaste that my heart sank to the very bottom. I had expected Luna to correct her son's cruel words, but instead she said, "Grandma really is quite unsophisticated. Why don't you ask Grandma if she would like to go back to Oklahoma?" I pulled off my apron and threw it directly at Luna's head. "Mom, what are you doing?" Throughout all these years, I had never once asked Luna to wear an apron, but now I realized I had been nurturing a family of ungrateful parasites. "Don't you have hands? The food is right there in the pan. Can't you manage to stir it a few times?" Seeing that I was genuinely angry, Daniel finally lifted himself from his throne on the couch and graced the kitchen with his noble presence. Taking in the mess scattered across the floor, he spoke without the slightest hesitation. "Your mother has really lost her mind, hasn't she? So crude and uncouth, making such a disaster and then having the nerve to scold people. It is embarrassing enough having a disabled mother-in-law in front of my colleagues. Now she can't even cook a simple meal without throwing a tantrum. Forget it, we're not eating here. Let's call Mother and go out for dinner." I knew perfectly well that the mother he referred to was not me, but rather Olivia, his own mother who lived in the same neighborhood. Olivia considered herself an intellectual, a woman of culture who had never once visited during Luna's delivery, claiming that hospitals would disrupt her creative inspiration. I had been the one rushing around taking care of everything, using my phone to type messages and communicate with the medical staff since I couldn't hear their voices. Daniel had insisted that his mother's hands were too precious for household work since she played piano, so he demanded that I stay to care for Luna. Seeing my daughter's weakened condition after giving birth had softened my heart. I immediately sold our chickens and livestock back home and moved to Los Angeles to help with the new baby. Living under someone else's roof is never easy. I understood that people looked down on me because of my disability, so I worked myself to the bone doing housework, trying to prove that I had some value. Now, just because I accidentally dropped a single bowl, they were calling me a confused old burden who needed to be sent away. While Daniel spoke these harsh words aloud, he simultaneously signed to me with false sweetness. "Mom, why don't you go rest? We have some business to take care of, so we won't be eating dinner at home. Just fix yourself something simple." I had been so moved when Daniel first learned sign language for my sake. If I hadn't regained my hearing, I might have spent the rest of my life completely deceived by their double-faced behavior. I watched as the three of them put on their shoes and disappeared from my sight. Returning to my room, I silently treated my burns and began packing my belongings. Looking around this tiny bedroom that had been converted from a storage closet, I suddenly found the whole situation absurd. I had left behind a comfortable 3-story house in Oklahoma to come to this unfamiliar city and work as an unpaid housekeeper. Not only did I receive no wages, but I was expected to supplement their household expenses with my own Social Security payments and savings. Now Daniel was even eyeing my property back home. I purchased a Greyhound bus ticket, left the house keys on the coffee table, and walked out without looking back. As I settled into my seat for the journey home, my phone buzzed with a message. Opening it, I saw that Luna was asking me for money yet again. The message read, "Mom, it is my mother-in-law's birthday tomorrow. Do you think I should give her this gold necklace or these gold earrings?" I didn't even bother responding. I still remembered my first year in that house, when Luna had taken my arm excitedly and told me she was taking me shopping. My heart had filled with joy, thinking she wanted to buy me a gift. I hadn't realized at the time that my birthday fell on the same day as Olivia's. We had entered Nordstrom, and Luna showed me 2 fur coats to choose between. "I like this one," I had said, pointing to my preference. But Luna had the other coat wrapped up instead. "Mom, it doesn't matter what you like. It only matters what my mother-in-law likes." "Then why did you bring me along?" I had asked, hurt and confused. "To pay for it, of course. You know, I haven't worked since Joshua was born, so I don't have money for birthday gifts." She had signed this to me as if it were the most natural thing in the world. Though I felt disappointed, I convinced myself that Luna might be planning to surprise me later, which was why she wasn't buying me anything. But as my birthday arrived, I found myself bustling around the kitchen preparing an elaborate feast. Just as I was removing my apron to join the family at the table, Luna pushed me back toward the kitchen. "Mom, You can eat in here. She handed me a pair of chopsticks and a bowl of rice topped with a few vegetable leaves. Not even a single piece of meat graced my bowl. I huddled in that kitchen, watching through the doorway as they sang Happy Birthday in the dining room. Olivia sat in the place of honor, accepting gifts with cool indifference, never even offering a word of thanks. Meanwhile, I ate my meal of rice mixed with tears before having to clean up their mess. From beginning to end, not one person had wished me a happy birthday. Tears flowed again as Luna, seeing that I hadn't responded, sent several more messages. I slowly typed back. "What gift are you giving me?" Luna replied. "Mom, you are from the country. Who celebrates birthdays when they're in their 50s or 60s out there? Come on, I'll send you a little red envelope to wish you happy birthday." Curious, I opened it to find a grand total of 52 cents. Even children these days wouldn't send such a paltry amount. Seeing that I had accepted the money, Luna immediately pressed me for funds. "I don't have any money," I typed back. "Mom, how can you not have money? Didn't Dad's life insurance pay out a lot when he died?" A surge of anger rose from deep within my chest. "Your father's insurance money went toward the down payment on your house long ago. Don't you have any idea how much money is left in this family? But don't you still get Social Security?" I had never noticed before just how shameless my daughter could be. She calculated everything I owned down to the penny, sent me 52 cents for my birthday, then immediately demanded I hand over 5,200. "Please, just leave your mother with some way to survive. You use up my entire monthly Social Security check and still want more. You want your mother to sell her kidney to buy gold for your mother-in-law?" This was the first time I had ever complained to Luna or lost my temper with her. I thought surely she must have some conscience remaining, but when I saw her response, my heart turned completely cold. "Then why did you accept my red envelope?" I laughed bitterly, sent her $1 in return, and blocked her number. I dozed on the bus, and when I awoke, my phone showed 99 missed calls. Since they knew I was deaf, they normally never tried calling me. Opening our family chat group, I saw complete chaos. Luna had posted photos of the unwashed dishes and laundry, tagging me with accusatory messages. "Mom, I never imagined you could be this kind of person. We went out to handle some business, and instead of cleaning up at home, you just ran away. So what if you got burned? Everyone who cooks gets burned sometimes. You are making such a big fuss over nothing at your age." Daniel had added his own comment. "Even if you wanted to leave, you could have at least cleaned up before going. Look at this mess." Daniel's relatives began making snide remarks. I thought country people were supposed to be simple and hard-working. How could she leave the house in such a state? Olivia chimed in. "She is probably jealous that her son and daughter-in-law are celebrating my birthday. It is really unnecessary. If you want some cake, I'll save you a piece." Luna quickly responded with fawning praise. "My mother-in-law is so generous." I found this amusing and replied, "What is wrong with being from the country?" "Luna, don't forget that you are from the country too. Did a few years of college in the city make you look down on your roots?" Luna quickly backpedaled. "Please, I've been a California resident for years. I am a city person now, understand? Fine. Let's keep our boundaries clear then. Since I am just a country person who can't measure up to you city folk, please return all the gold jewelry and other expensive gifts I bought for your mother-in-law over the years. Surely such refined city people wouldn't want to keep money from a poor country woman." I posted receipts for all the major purchases I had made over the years. The total came to over $200,000. They talked constantly about how country people smelled bad and were unsophisticated, but they had no problem taking my money when they wanted something expensive. Olivia and her family members fell silent. Luna sent me a private message. "Is all this really necessary? We're family after all." Suddenly my niece spoke up. "I had no idea you all had been bleeding my aunt dry like this." Her words brought tears to my eyes again. Everyone had been criticizing me, telling me what I should and shouldn't have done. Only my niece stood up for me, and only she had sent me a meaningful red envelope of $520 on my birthday. Luna and my niece began arguing. "Why are you being so nasty?" What do you mean by bleeding her dry? She is my mother. You really think of her as your mother? Do you even remember her birthday? Have you ever sent her a proper gift? All you care about is that mother-in-law who never lifted a finger for you? My niece was saying exactly what I wanted to say, but when the topic turned to red envelopes, Luna became more confident. Of course I sent her money. I just sent her some, but then she blocked me. Another relative jumped in. What kind of mother blocks her own daughter? That is making a mountain out of a molehill. I quietly posted a screenshot of Luna's 52-cent gift. Is this the red envelope you are talking about? This is hilarious. My 3-year-old son sends $5.20 to girls he likes, and you are 30 years old sending your mother 52 cents. I can't stop laughing. My niece posted several laughing emojis. Oh, just a friendly reminder my son is 3 years old. Luna, clearly embarrassed, tried to play the sentiment card. Mom, you are being unfair. They say it is the thought that counts, not the amount. If you really wanted a bigger gift, you should have just asked. It is not like I wouldn't have given it to you. Fine, then pay me back that $200,000 and stop making empty promises. I unblocked Luna and continued demanding the money she owed me. Instead of paying, Daniel transferred $20,000 to me and posted the screenshot in our chat group. Mom, I had no idea you were this kind of person. If you just wanted money, you should have said so earlier. I accepted the payment and replied, that still leaves $180,000, and this doesn't even include all the daily expenses I've covered for you. I've been paying for your food, drinks, everything. You spend my entire Social Security check every month, and I still have to supplement from my savings. If you understood the meaning of filial piety, I wouldn't mind the money. But I never expected to raise such a family of ungrateful parasites. I've left your house keys on the table. From now on, let's stay out of each other's way. It would be best if you city people stopped talking to this country woman altogether. After muting the group notifications, I stepped off the bus. Returning to my small Oklahoma town, I opened my front door to find everything clean and tidy. Not at all like a house that had been empty for 7 years. I realized then that my niece had been coming to clean my house every year. When her mother died during childbirth and her father worked constantly out of state, I had brought her into my home and raised her alongside Luna. He never expected that I would raise Luna to become ungrateful while my niece turned out to be so devoted to me. Warmth flooded through my heart as I called her. Aunt Avery, why are you calling me? Her voice was filled with genuine joy. My hearing came back. That is fantastic news. Where are you now? Did you come back to Oklahoma? She insisted on picking me up so we could celebrate together. When she saw me, she was shocked. Aunt Avery, what happened to you? You've suffered so much these past 7 years. She wiped away tears while her 3-year-old son reached up to comfort his mother. This is Anne, she said, holding the child. He is 3 years old, he should probably call you. Grandma is fine, I said, reaching out to touch the child's head. But Joshua's disgusted expression flashed through my memory. I could endure my daughter and son-in-law's disdain, but I had never imagined that Joshua, whom I had raised with my own hands, would feel the same way. Over these 7 years, they must have criticized me constantly in front of him, poisoning his mind against me. My hand hung suspended in midair as I considered pulling it back, but the little boy leaned forward and nuzzled my palm. Grandma, he said sweetly. Oh my, I didn't prepare a gift for our first meeting. I was searching through my purse for cash when Daniel's call interrupted. I answered, and his voice was cold and suspicious. Mom, you can hear now, can't you? I had endured 7 years of thankless labor in that house, suffering countless humiliations, but I had never simply packed up and left like today. It was because I couldn't bear to leave Luna and Joshua. Daniel was clever enough to suspect that I had regained my hearing and overheard their conversations. I pretended to still be deaf. Daniel, you know I can't hear. Why are you calling me instead of texting? Mom, if you really can't hear, then I might as well speak freely. Do you think you've been living rent-free in our house all these years? This is Los Angeles real estate we're talking about. That room you occupied would rent for at least $3,000 a month. And when my mother has a birthday, shouldn't you contribute something nice? I never expected you to be so petty, demanding $200,000 from us. I trembled with rage while my niece's face darkened. She opened her mouth to shout back, but I gestured for her to stay quiet. Daniel continued venting his anger, saying that having a country mother-in-law was his greatest shame. He claimed I was always interfering in their lives under the guise of helping them, saying I was a country woman with no sense of boundaries. I was speechless, so when Daniel smoked in front of Joshua and I reminded him to be mindful, it was somehow my fault. After Daniel finished his tirade and hung up, I heard Luna's voice just before the line went dead. Good job. I am glad she is gone. Now we don't have to find excuses to get rid of her. This is outrageous. How could Luna turn out like this, when we didn't have fathers? You raised both of us with your own hands. How could she become so heartless? My niece fumed. Maybe some people just can't be raised properly, I said, watching the shops pass by through the car window. 7 years had brought good development to our little town, with modern amenities throughout. I couldn't understand why Luna and Daniel looked down on country life. They should try living without the vegetables that country people grow. I saved the phone recording and posted it directly to our extended family chat group. This larger group included over 50 people, not just Daniel's relatives, but my own family and friends as well. Now I realized that Daniel must have created the smaller family group later because he despised country people. My son-in-law just called me, but since I am deaf, I couldn't hear what he said. Could everyone help me understand what he was trying to tell me? I tagged everyone in the group. I had always swallowed my grievances silently. My friends and siblings thought I had gone to the city to live comfortably. When this recording was released, the group exploded. My brother posted, "Daniel, you animal, is this how you talk to your mother-in-law?" My best friend wrote, "What is wrong with being from the country? If you look down on country people, then don't marry Luna." Luna, what are you thinking? Your husband is insulting your mother and you don't say a word. My niece forwarded screenshots from the smaller group chat. Maybe this shows Luna's real attitude, my brother responded. Fine, fine, fine. So they think our family has no one to stand up for us. You little devils, just wait, I am bringing the boys with shovels. Even after 7 years apart, my family and friends were still willing to defend me. I wiped away tears as Luna called me. Mom, you can hear, can't you? Otherwise you never would have recorded Daniel's call and posted it in the group. I didn't deny it. Mom, how could you be so manipulative? You are trying to destroy us. Luna, who is really being manipulative here. You've been enjoying my care while talking behind my back, constantly demanding money from me. I am the one with no integrity. If I really had no integrity, I wouldn't have wasted 7 years taking care of you and raising a family of parasites. Seeing my firm stance, Luna softened her tone. Mom, you are just upset that we only celebrated my mother-in-law's birthday and overlooked yours, right? Come back and we'll throw you a party, okay? That is not necessary. See, you are the one who said no, we offered, didn't we? Is there anything else? If not, I am hanging up. Mom, please go into the group and tell them that phone call was fake, that you were just joking. We're all family after all. I laughed at Luna's request. Luna, do you think I am an idiot? When neither gentle persuasion nor demands worked, Luna began crying. Mom, I am begging you. How am I supposed to face my in-laws now? My mother-in-law is already calling to scold me. Luna's tears sounded genuine, not like an act. My thoughts drifted to the past. Luna, do you remember how your mother lost her hearing? Luna's crying stopped abruptly. Of course, she had probably forgotten long ago. When she was 5 years old, she had insisted on celebrating her birthday at a fancy restaurant. Not wanting to disappoint her, I had scraped together money for bus tickets and drove us to Los Angeles, spending an entire month's wages. That day, a disturbed man had opened fire in the restaurant. I had thrown myself over Luna, shielding her with my body, but my ears were damaged in the gunfire, leaving me permanently deaf. From that day forward, my world became silent, then tracing words in my palm. But after marriage, it was as if Luna had been replaced by someone else entirely, forgetting all her childhood promises. Luna hung up, but not before calling me selfish one last time. Only after I left did she realize that all the household responsibilities had fallen on her shoulders. Daniel was a spoiled prince who never helped with anything. I had tried to get him to assist with chores, and though I couldn't hear what he said in response, he had grudgingly gotten up to wash dishes. 10 dishes later, he had managed to break 8 of them with his carelessness. After that incident, I never asked him to help again, since I always ended up cleaning up an even bigger mess. My niece treated me to a wonderful dinner and took photos with me, saying she wanted to post them on Instagram for me to like. I pulled out my phone and opened the app. There I saw Luna's latest post. I never realized my mother-in-law could be closer than my own mother. My mother-in-law is so beautiful. The photo showed the family dining at a restaurant, with Olivia's face glowing and flawless. You couldn't tell she was 2 years older than me. My niece had seen the post too and commented, "Of course she looks young when she doesn't have to take care of anyone." I posted my own message. I never realized my niece could be closer than my own daughter. My niece is so devoted. I included photos of my niece taking me to dinner, with little Anne making a peace sign. Absolutely adorable. Immediately, my phone began ringing again. After declining several calls, I finally answered one. "Mom, what are you trying to say with that post? Whatever you meant by yours, that is what I mean by mine." I took a bite of steak, remembering when Daniel had first taken me to a steakhouse. I hadn't known how to use a knife and fork, so I asked the server for chopsticks. Daniel had looked at me like I was some sort of alien creature, and they told me Western restaurants didn't have chopsticks. I watched them expertly cut their steaks while I struggled with the unfamiliar utensils, feeling as helpless as a child, but no one offered to help me, and I ended up eating only bread rolls. Now, looking at my properly cut steak, tears flowed again, but Luna misunderstood, hearing my quiet sobs and thinking I missed her. "Mom, I was just trying to make you jealous. Come back, okay? You are still my best mother. You mean your best free housekeeper." I hung up and turned off my phone. After a lifetime of putting others first, it was time to live for myself. Luna told me they had hired a housekeeper, with their combined salaries not even reaching $10,000 plus mortgage and car payments. They dared to hire help. How presumptuous of them to assume I would fund their lifestyle. Oh right, I should cancel the automatic payments from my account for their utilities over $300 monthly. After taking care of that, I lay down for a peaceful sleep. I slept until noon, reveling in not having to cook for anyone. What a wonderful feeling. When I woke up, my niece drove me to the county seat to buy new clothes. In 7 years, Luna and Daniel had never bought me a single piece of clothing, let alone jewelry. After purchasing clothes and daily necessities, I bought chickens and ducks, plus seeds for a vegetable garden. Country living was inexpensive, and my social security was sufficient, but I needed to save for potential medical expenses in old age. I couldn't count on Luna and Daniel for support. But when I returned home, incredible news awaited me. "Avery, did you hear about the development project?" Development. I looked at my 3-story house. They want to tear down my place. Oh no, I love this house. Not here, in the next township. Don't you have that old property over there? The property in the neighboring township had been left to me by my parents, but had fallen into disrepair and was uninhabitable. Really? Absolutely. Ask your niece if you don't believe me. My niece's husband served on the township council. He confirmed it was true. The rapid development of our region meant the government needed land for a new shopping complex. When the compensation payment arrived, I was stunned. $500,000 in cash. I called my brother to discuss how to split the money. Though the property was in my name, it had belonged to our parents. But my brother surprised me. "Sister, $500,000 seems like a lot, but medical bills can eat that up quickly. You keep it and enjoy your life. Besides, I am getting government compensation for my own property too." My niece's family also received compensation. They chose a house in the county seat for Anne's education. Now, I had plenty of time for activities I enjoyed. I enrolled in senior university, studying tea ceremony and calligraphy. When classes ended, I traveled with groups of friends. My longtime girlfriends worried I might not return, asking if I planned to come back. I shook my head. Why would I go back? Even paid housekeepers get wages, but I was paying them to let me work. As if to spite me, Luna frequently posted photos of their housekeeper caring for Joshua, claiming this college-educated woman was better with children than I had been. She would ask Joshua, "Do you like Grandma or Maria better?" "Maria." "Why, because Maria doesn't smell bad like country people." Luna posted intimate photos with Olivia, captioning them. "Don't we look like real mother and daughter?" I commented. "More than that, you might as well be her biological child." Luna was furious and threatened to cut all ties with me. I recorded her words and shared them with our extended family group. From this day forward, Luna and I have severed our relationship. I am not her mother, and she is not my daughter. But somehow word of my compensation reached Luna's ears. When I returned from a trip, I found Luna, Daniel, and Joshua standing at my front door with bags and suitcases. Seeing me approach, Luna rushed over and linked her arm through mine affectionately. "Mom, why didn't you tell me about something as important as the settlement?" "Who are you?" "Mom, stop being angry with me." "Yes, mothers and daughters shouldn't hold grudges overnight," Daniel added supportively, then signaled to Joshua. Joshua ran up and hugged my legs. "Grandma, I missed you. I want to take music lessons." "Then ask your parents to sign you up, but it costs $20,000. "We don't have money anymore," Joshua said with crocodile tears. I remained silent, watching him cry. After raising Joshua for 7 years, I could tell he was faking. When I didn't respond, Joshua grew angry and pushed me. "Mean Grandma, Mommy says you have $500,000. Why won't you give us some?" "I want a big house and a big car." I flexed my wrist and slapped Luna across the face. "You taught him that, didn't you?" "Mom, you hit me." Luna looked shocked. "I should have hit you more when you were younger. Maybe then you wouldn't have turned out so spoiled." Daniel grabbed my raised hand, applying pressure. "Mother-in-law, this is unreasonable. Would it kill you to share some of that $500,000 with us?" I couldn't break free from Daniel's grip. Just as I was about to kick him where it would hurt most, a rock struck his nose. He doubled over in pain, clutching his face. "Perfect. We couldn't find you before. Now you've delivered yourselves to our doorstep." My brother approached with a shovel, followed by a dozen strong young men. "So you are the one who called us country people inferior?" Luna's family found themselves surrounded, and Joshua burst into frightened tears. "Grandma, save me." He reached toward me, and my heart wavered momentarily. Then little Anne ran into my arms. "Grandma!" Joshua stared in disbelief, apparently unable to comprehend that I had another grandchild. I stroked Anne's head and looked at Joshua. "Joshua, didn't you say Grandma embarrassed you? It is fine from now on. I won't be your grandma anymore." I carried Anne into the house, leaving behind only one instruction: don't hurt the child. Everything else is fair game. Luna's family called the police. When officers arrived, my brother explained simply. They came for her settlement money. If we hadn't gotten here in time, they might have hurt my sister. Recently, police had dealt with numerous disputes over compensation payments, some children fighting viciously over inheritance, others even poisoning their parents. Since my brother's group hadn't actually attacked anyone, the police didn't arrest them. Instead, they took Luna's family to the station for a stern lecture. They called me to come collect my family from the station. Arrived carrying only a document terminating our family relationship. "Are you really going to be this heartless?" "Heartless? We already publicly announced the end of our mother-daughter relationship. Have you forgotten?" I looked steadily at Luna. "Mom, do you think we can't survive without you? You are the one who can't live without me. When you get old, won't you need me to care for you? You can't seriously expect your niece to support you in old age?" Luna spoke through gritted teeth. "That is fine by me. I've already written my will leaving everything to my niece. I smiled. Actually, keeping you around for my old age care sounds reasonable. I pretended to leave, but Luna grabbed my arm and quickly signed the termination document. Mom, you'll regret this. After hurling this parting shot, Luna's family departed. I couldn't imagine what I might regret. My days filled with classes, square dancing, and occasional trips were wonderful. Though I lived alone, my niece regularly brought Anne to visit and share meals. Sometimes I visited my brother to play with his adorable granddaughter. When I didn't feel like cooking, I ordered takeout. I learned online shopping and bought all sorts of curious items. Me niece scolded me when I received a palm-sized suitcase, telling me to check dimensions before ordering. So naturally, I ordered a 100-inch suitcase next. My brother had to bring his pickup truck to deliver it, asking if I'd bought a house online. I also learned to play video games, finally understanding why Luna and Daniel were always glued to their phones. These devices were genuinely entertaining. When my old friends found me, calling me a gaming grandma, they dragged me away for beauty treatments and trips. Luna called again, her tone humble this time. Mom, I am pregnant again. My mother-in-law is forcing me to keep the baby. Come take care of me. Previously, one phone call would have sent me rushing to her city to— What about that? Mom, you post about in your social media. Doesn't she want her daughter anymore? Mom, you know Daniel's mother comes from high society, never lifting a finger for manual labor. Right. And I come from low society, so I deserve to serve your whole family. My voice was light as I urged her to hurry. All right, I am due for a beauty treatment. If there is nothing else, I am hanging up. Mom, I was wrong. I ended the call. I knew my heart wasn't made of stone, but I refused to fall into the same trap twice. As Luna's pregnancy progressed, her mother-in-law forced her to quit her job. With her growing belly, Luna could no longer manage household chores. But Daniel was cut from the same cloth as his mother, born to be pampered. I can't do this anymore. Why can't we hire a housekeeper? Luna cried. Luna, mortgage, car payments, and daily expenses all depend on my income alone. Do you think we're rich? Go ask your mother for money. She has $500,000 and won't give us a cent. Daniel's eyes were red with frustration. I learned later that upon discovering my compensation, Daniel had immediately borrowed money to buy a luxury car. They had been absolutely certain I would share the money with them. Why can't you ask your mother to help out a little? Luna suggested. My mother isn't a servant. My mother managed to be one. Why can't yours? Don't be ridiculous. Your mother is a countrywoman, born to serve others. My mother's hands are for playing piano. Ironically, my hands were now used for piano playing too. I recorded a performance from my senior center recital and posted it online. Friends commented, "Avery looks younger every day." I replied, "Yes. I've learned that people should treat themselves well." When Luna called again begging me to return and care for her, I said, "Didn't you see my social media post? My hands are for playing piano now. I can't possibly do servant work." With no other options, Luna publicly attacked me on social media and in our family group, posting photos of their chaotic, filthy home. Mom, do you really want your unborn grandchild to miscarry? I replied. Your mother-in-law isn't worried, so why should I be? Oh, and about that $180,000 you still owe me, when are you paying it back? I had nearly forgotten about their debt until Luna's harassment reminded me. Those borrowed gifts for Olivia had never been repaid. I had legal papers drawn up demanding repayment. Luna had a breakdown, cursing me to die over the phone. My niece told me Luna had taken to the internet and uninformed users were attacking me online. My phone was flooded with calls from sympathetic strangers defending Luna. I read Luna's post, basically claiming her family had received compensation. Her mother gave it all to a niece, threatened to disown her daughter, and now refused to help when Luna was pregnant with her second child and struggling financially. A pitiful pregnant woman naturally garnered sympathy. With help from my niece and old friends, I started live streaming. Over 1,000 viewers immediately flooded the broadcast. Luna saw it too and messaged asking what I was doing. She thought I was still a technology-challenged old woman, never imagining I'd learned to stream online. The chat was filled with insults directed at me. I appeared well-rested and obviously comfortable, which only increased viewers' anger. Listen, everyone. I am that evil mother from the internet. Before I tell you the truth, let me play you a recording. I slowly played the audio of Daniel's verbal abuse. The recording was so vicious it was hard to listen to. Yes, I used to be deaf, disabled. Only when my hearing returned did I learn what this family I had been serving really thought of me. I showed them my medical records documenting my hearing loss. Some questioned whether my recording was fake. I displayed our family group chat history, screenshots of Luna, asking for money to buy gifts for her mother-in-law while sending me 52 cents and records of her threats. Known by one, the evidence was overwhelming. Reasonable people could see the truth clearly. I showed them Luna's social media posts. Oh, Luna had blocked me. No matter, I had screenshots. I scrolled through my photo album, showing them those passive-aggressive posts. Then I showed them old photos of myself. Despite my smiles in those pictures, my face showed undeniable exhaustion. I looked 10 years older then than I do now. If your children and their spouses treated you this way, what would you choose? Finally, Luna, I want my $180,000 back. I ended the stream. What had started as self-defense unexpectedly made me internet famous. With all this traffic, I might as well take advantage of it, so I began making short videos documenting my country lifestyle. Many people in similar situations commented, saying they were inspired to live for themselves. The money I earned from sponsorships, I donated to charity, posting receipts on my homepage. When Luna saw that I preferred donating money to giving it to her, she went crazy with rage. She called repeatedly demanding money. Each time I told her to pay back what she owed first. She accused me of cruelty toward my own daughter. I told her she was delusional. My money was mine to spend as I pleased. Luna started her own live stream. Unfortunately, viewers brutally criticized her. Later, while doing housework, Luna slipped and fell, losing the baby and requiring a hysterectomy. When I heard this news, I felt some sadness, but this was a consequence of her own choices. If Luna had just stood up for me once when Daniel was insulting me, I never would have been so heartless. The public scandal caused Daniel to lose his job. The family could only turn to Olivia for help, but Olivia's heart proved even colder than mine. She threw them out immediately, refusing any financial assistance. Only then did Luna discover that Olivia wasn't Daniel's biological mother, but his stepmother. They were forced to sell their house and car, moving into a basement apartment. Their only hope was me. But every time they contacted me, I had only one response. When are you paying back the $180,000? They assumed that once they repaid me, I would forgive everything and give them the entire $500,000. So they scraped together the $180,000 and sent it to me. I accepted the money and immediately blocked them. They tried calling to curse me, posting in family groups and on social media, but I didn't care. I had already changed my phone number and joined my girlfriends on a world tour. Luna's family didn't give up, tracking me down through my travel videos. I saw Luna approaching with tears in her eyes, trying to embrace me. I looked at her coolly, got into my rented sports car, and drove away with a roar of the engine, leaving her behind in the dust. I had proven through my actions that without them, I lived better than ever before. That is our story for today. We hope you enjoyed this incredible tale. Share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. Subscribe for more captivating stories like this, and don't forget to like and share this video. Thank you for being here with us. See you next time.